Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana. Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivarodhari. Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Bolo Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjave Hari Vivo Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjave Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hari Jai Shantaram Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanande. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 24, and test number 20. Just a second to find it. Sa samudram upavistirnam. Sa samudra upavistirnam. Apashyam sumahatsara. Apashyam sumahatsara. Mahamanaiva svacham. Mahamanaiva svacham. Prasanna salisasyayam. Prasanna salilasasyam. Sa samudra upavistirnam. Sa samudra upavistirnam. Upashyam sumahatsara. Mahamana iva svacham. Prasanna salisasyayam. Sa samudra upavistirnam. Upisham sumahatsara. Mahamaniva svacham. Prasanna salisasayam. Upashyam samahasmaram. Prasanna salilasayam. Sa samudra upavirtiram. Apashyam sumahatsara. Mahamana iva svacham. Prasanna salilasayam. Ladies. Apashyam sumatrasaram. Mahamana iva svacham. Prasanna salisasayam. Samudram, almost near the ocean. Upa, more or less. Vistirnam, very wide and long. Apayam, they saw. Sumat, very great. Saraha, reservoir of water. Mahat, great soul. Manaha, mind. Iva, like. Suacham, clear. Prasanna, joyful. Shalila, water. Asayam, taken shelter of. Translation by His Divine Grace, C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water, which seems almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seems like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appear very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir. Purport. The word samudra means near the sea. The reservoir of water was like a bay, for it was not very far from the sea. the word upa means more or less. This is used in many ways, as in the word upapati, which indicate a husband more or less. That is to say, a lover who is acting like a husband. Upa also means greater, smaller or nearer. Considering all these points, the reservoir of water which was seen by the Prachetas while they were traveling were actually a large bay or lake. And unlike the sea or an ocean which had turbulent waves, the reservoir was very calm and quiet. Indeed, the water was so clear that it seems like the mind of some great soul. There may be many great souls. Jnani, yogis, and bhaktas, or pure devotees, are also called great souls, but they are very rare found. One can find many great souls among yogis and jnanis, but a truly great soul, a pure devotee of the Lord, who is fully surrendered to the Lord, is very rarely found. So mahatta sudalladbaha. A devotee mind is always calm, quiet, and desireless, because he's always anyubilakshita shunyam, having no desire other than to serve Krishna and his own personal servant, friend, father, mother, or conjugal lover. Due to his association with Krishna, a devotee is always very calm and cool. It is also significant that within the reservoir of all aquatics were all very calm and quiet, because the disciple of a devotee have taken shelter of the great soul. They become very calm and quiet, and they are not agitated by the wave of the material world. This material world is often described as an ocean of nescience. In such an ocean, everything is agitated. The mind of a great devotee is also like an ocean or a very large lake, but there's no agitation. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vyavyasatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana. Those who are fixed in the service of the Lord are not agitated by anything. It is also stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Yasmin stito na dukshena garanapi visupchaye. Even if he suffer some reversal in life, a devotee is never agitated. Therefore, whoever takes shelter of a great soul or of a great devotee become pacified. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila is stated, Krishna Bhakta Nikshamam, Nishama Attaya Shanta. A devotee of Lord Krishna is always peaceful because he has no desire, whatever the yogi, karmi, and jnani have so many desires to fulfill. One may argue that the devotee have desire for they wish to go home, back to Godhead, but such a desire does not agitate the mind. Although he wishes to go back to Godhead, a devotee is satisfied in any condition of life. Consequently, the word mahanmanas is used in this verse to indicate that the reservoir of water was as calm and quiet as the mind of a great devotee. Sa sumutram api vistiranam apashyam sumadhashara mahamana iva swacham prasanna salila shayam. While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water which seems almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seems like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appear very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a water reservoir. O my jnana timirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurumiritanjena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Shayan Rupa Kadamayam. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So, this is an interesting chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Of course, we can say that all the chapters of the Srimad Bhagavatam are very interesting. But when there is such a intimate discussion by devotees, big devotees like Vidura and Maitreya, things are coming more clearly to us. And these conversations, they are here in the Bhagavatam to give us the opportunity to understand, the message which is within the verse of the Bhagavatam. So the Prashetas were 10 wonderful sons that they came out of the Queen Satudruti. And all of them, they were special personality. So when the father told them, go and get ready to rule the king and get knowledge, they did. Travel all over the universe, and they found so many different places where they realized things that they had realized before. I don't know if it happened to you, but for me, that I'm traveling all over the world constantly, every time I go some places, I found something interesting to learn. Isn't it? Have you had this experience yourself? So maybe even if you go in places where there is not so much Krishna conscious, the people are busy doing their work, trying to satisfy their senses into the mood of passion. Nevertheless, there's some spark of interesting mentality there that can be, perhaps, if you can do it, fan their Krishna conscious. Passion can also be used in Krishna conscious. I remember one time I asked one older devotee, what about, you say that everybody should be under the mood of goodness, but then if it's everybody's under the mood of goodness, who's going to do the work? Isn't it? Because to do work, to clean the temple, to go outside in Sankirtan, preach, to travel, you need some passion, isn't it? So when he said, well, a Brahmana, they can do all these things, The Brahminical person can sometimes do the needful, like we saw Prabhupada. Prabhupada was a pure devotee. Sometimes he had to go down to the Kshatriya, type of. And the Vaishya, when he was discussing with the people who was printing the books, how to, arrange for the price and everything. And sometimes we will also be aware of all the work that we have to do. So he was teaching to his disciple how to be careful, how to maintain things very nicely. So it's true. Every one of us has to go up to the level of Brahman. But we have to be prepared to also be able to do menial things. So it's not that when you are a Brahman, then you don't care about anything else. You say, I'm a Brahman, Prabhu. I cannot do that, This is some kind of work that only Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya doing. No. Brahman is most intelligent, is the head of the society. And he understands that he has to be an example. You know what I mean? So all of you that you are here now, you're all very exalted devotees. So when you become Brahmins, that you remember, don't give up to be humble. And be always prepared to do anything is possible, anything is needed, according to the instruction of the spiritual master. You understand what I'm saying? Is there any question about this? No question. Everything's clear. Yes. I can't hear you. Do we have a microphone, maybe? Yes. You get it. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't hear it. I'm old, my hearing is not good anymore. But this is very important instruction. Becoming a Brahman means to be able to do anything is needed. Jai, Shri Radha Parthasarthi ki jai. Gauranitai ki jai. Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanumanji ki jai. Nishingadeva ki jai. Oh, Prema.
Hare Krishna.
What's going on? It's okay? So, the point is, when they arrive, so this is a very interesting point, so tell me your question.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you made a remark that to do heavy services like cleaning temple.
Stay a little far away from the microphone. Yeah.
To do heavy services.
Yeah. Okay.
Do heavy services like cleaning the temple or some menial seva, which requires a lot of hard work.
Yes.
Is it necessary to do that in mode of passion, or one in knowledge can also do that?
No. It's passion into the service of the Lord. I remember one time I was playing with the Gauranga Bhajan band. It's a famous group of devotees who we travel all over the eastern country. We had many sannyasi, and we went all the way through the eastern, Bulgaria, Romania, the eastern of Germany, and so on. And then we end up to Moscow, Riga, and at the end of the tour, we came back to the German farm, Nishinga-Chekra. And we were discussing with all the devotees and the leaders, how wonderful it was to be involved in such a preaching program. And the devotee who was giving the lecture was saying, we have to be careful because sometimes, we become proud of what we're doing. For instance, I was playing the guitar and everybody was dancing and singing in ecstasy, Hare Krishna. So I was thinking, wow, this is wonderful. This is beautiful situations. Then I asked this devotee, well, what was that? I said, it was my ego telling me that, I was proud to be involved in that things, and so it was just a shadows of my, my shortcoming in Krishna consciousness. And he says, no. Whenever you do something for Krishna, doesn't matter what you do, because you're pleasing Krishna. If you do it nicely, like according to the spiritual master instruction, Krishna is pleased. And when Krishna is pleased, you become pleased. And that's how you become happy. So that happiness has nothing to do with passion. Even if we had to do, we have to use passion to be able to get involved in such a service. But the happiness that we felt, it was coming directly from the happiness of Krishna. So there was no question of false ego. It was a bona fide service which gave Krishna such a wonderful happiness, which is then it became our happiness. So if you do that, there's no question of passion. You do it nicely for Krishna, then even if you had to put some passion inside, that passion is being used completely into the service of Krishna. So in that way, you are in passion in the action, but in consciousness, you are in goodness. You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank you.
So then they arrive, this wonderful personality, they arrive to this place, and this place was so wonderful, was so calm. There was no problem. There was no agitation. Like, when you go to the beach, I'm sure that you must have gone to the beach sometime. Have you gone to the beach? Yes. Where? In Mumbai or where? You go to the beach, and then you see there's always waves, coming and going. So it makes the mind is very agitated because these waves agitate the mind. It seems that everything is not peaceful. But in this place that they saw, everything was peaceful. And Prabhupada makes the point that it was peaceful because that was exactly like a picture of the soul of a pure devotee. A pure devotee mind, it's always peaceful. So this is interesting because we will have to ask ourselves, I'm always peaceful. Are you always peaceful, my dear friend devotee? Are you peaceful? No. Why not? Because, I remember these situations that one night Prabhupada was calling for his servant. And he was ringing the bell. And the servant didn't come. So Prabhupada got up from his room and he went to the servant room. And then the servant was sleeping. So Prabhupada opened the door and he says, "What are you doing? You sleeping?" "Oh, Prabhupada, sorry. I'm so tired. I've done so much yesterday." And Prabhupada says, "Well, I did also something so much yesterday. So why are you tired?" "And I'm not tired." And the devotee said, "Well, Prabhupada, because you are a pure devotee." And then Prabhupada said, "Why you are not a pure devotee too?" See, so if we agitate it, means that our consciousness still is not moving towards, Krishna conscious. And this is normal for the beginning when we are Kanishta Adhikari. But slowly we have to work on this. It makes our mind very peaceful. So, because otherwise it will be very difficult to live within the community of so many people. And guys, in this temple, many temples all over the world, I was talking yesterday with Maharaj when he was leaving. I took him to the airport. And he would say, "Well, Krishna Prem, you remember, even at the old days, when Prabhupada was present, there was agitation, The mind were agitated. We were not so peaceful. But slowly, due to the course of performing devotional service in a nice way, we became more peaceful. But still, it's a long way to go. So you can judge this state of your consciousness the way you're dealing with each other. If you're dealing with each other very nicely, that means that you're becoming Krishna conscious. You become aware of the power of being Krishna's devotee. But if you are still, kind of noisy and you are bothered by so many things, then you have to understand it's nothing to do with the other people, but it's because you are not yet arrived to the stage of become peaceful. There is one story, maybe you know. Then I want to tell you. Then we can. If you have some more questions, then we go and take prasad together. There was one place. They had two big monastery, beautiful monastery. One monastery was full of people. People will go there by the hundreds, and they were happily chanting and giving money, helping the monks, and they were so happy to go there. But in the other monastery, nobody would go. So, what happened? So the monks of the monastery, which was, they couldn't understand why. So they meet together, and they decide to send one of their monks to talk to the head of the other monastery to see what's going on, if they have any secret. You know the story? You know the story. You don't know the story. So this monk, came down from the mountain, crossed all over the lake, and he went finally, after a few days of walking very steadily, he went to the monastery, the other monastery. And then he called for the head of the monastery and asked him, "My dear sir, please, I can see." And when he was going into, he saw all different people coming and going, bringing present. So he was bewildered. So how he come? This is so wonderful, and in our monastery nobody comes. So then he finally had the time to meet with one of the monks from this monastery and ask him very humbly, "My dear sir, can you please tell me why in your monastery there's so much going on, beautiful flowers, decorations, people are chanting, they listen to the philosophy, they become Krishna conscious, and in our monastery nobody comes. What is your secret?" So this monk look at him and he says, well, my dear brother, we don't have any secret. But I have to tell you one thing, then you have to maybe meditate on. I know that amongst your 7 monks that you live in that monastery, there is a pure devotee of the Lord. Wow. So this monk went away, and during the, going back, during the road, as he was going back to the path of, went through the ocean, went through and then he climbed into the mountain, he went back to the monastery, and in the meantime, when he was walking, he was meditating. One of us is a pure devotee. Who may be? Maybe he's that brother. Maybe he's that brother. Maybe he's that brother. So when he came, all the other monks, they went together and said, what was the secret? And he said, well, he just told me that one of us, amongst us, there is a pure devotee. So what happened, then each one of these monks, they start thinking, oh, it must be him. So I have to respect him. No, it must be him. So I must respect him. And so at the end, the whole atmosphere, it was blissful. It was wonderful because everybody appreciated the fact that maybe there is a pure devotee, so I have to serve a pure devotee. And from that time on, even this monastery, the people will go there, will be very happy. They have so many things going on, and everybody was very, very, very happy and successful. So, if you want to make success, this place, and it is a success. I mean, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, he has, I think he has special Shakti. This man is not a regular devotee. And he did so much, to make this place the way it is, which is, I think, is very beautiful. This is one of the most beautiful temples we have in Iskcon. And I've seen them all over the world. But the place doesn't make the devotee. You have to change your mentality. We have to change. I have to change my mentality. So if we all get together nicely and we respect each other, we work together, and we are willing to listen and to cooperate together, like Prabhupada says, if you love me, please cooperate together, then this place, which is already successful, will be so much more successful, and this will make your spiritual masters very happy, Krishna and Prabhupada very happy. Hare Krishna. So any questions? Okay, let's go and take prasada. Thank you very much. Anything? Yes. Microphone.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, in Iskcon system, it means a spiritual platform. Iskcon. Devotee can do anything. There is mode of goodness, passions. So any work, whatever Guru says, we have to do. So my question is, in this, for example, this Iskcon temple, the money came from outside. So we are purchasing food from, we are not following correct Varnashram Dharma. So it is correctly purified, but it offered to prasadam. But is it actual correct system, or devotee have to prepare their own food? So Varnashram is not correctly established. Even though we are in spiritual platform doing devotee, but I am not correctly understand these things.
So it is understood that the money that we get, the collection, is coming from outside, from people who are not devotees. So how can we? Well, this is, if you have money, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur told Prabhupada, if you have money, if you happen to have some money, print books 3 times, he told him. So whenever you have money and you spend it to increase the preaching, that money, even if it's becoming from, of course, Prabhupada didn't like, black money. He didn't like some dirty business money. And there was a time that some of our devotees were doing some strange business, and Prabhupada didn't like that. But Janananda was a taxi driver, and whenever he was earning, driving the taxi in New York City, he would give the money to Prabhupada. So that kind of money which is being earned honestly, that money, it becomes precious because it becomes spiritualized. It becomes something that allows the devotee to carry on his service to Prabhupada and Krishna. So just like we offer the food, we don't eat bhoga. And once the food is offered, we offer to Krishna, that food, it gives you so much benefit. So this is it. There's no problem, you have to become some expert to enthuse the devotee, the people outside, to give so much money, lakhs of rupees. They can give it to the temple, and the temple can grow up. Not that some of the people from the temple, they put in their pocket, and they buy their own house and big cars. No, the money has to be clearly given to the temple, and the temple should show what they're doing with the money, with increasing the facility, cleaning nicely, building so many things, creating so many other things. So this is a way we can transform something which is not spiritual to spiritual energy. Okay?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for enlightening us. So, this story was very nice. That one pure devotee is among us. Similarly, if our temple, maybe if we apply that, maybe few pure devotees are there, 10 or 20. The problem is that in our temple, or any temples in Kali Yuga, the problem is that they will see the action and they will confirm that he may not be pure devotee, maybe anyone else may be.
So this is not the mentality. You have to think, and that he's a pure devotee, your friend, and he's a pure devotee. Everybody's a pure devotee, but they have to make sure that you're acting like a pure devotee. You have to be sincere, humble, and willing to do anything. I remember when we built the expo, the museum, we had a nice brahmachari. It was a brahmachari. It was a bhakta. It was in yellow, like this wonderful devotee here. And he was doing so many things, It was very helpful. I was in charge of the project, so I needed so much help. And he was doing all this help. Then one day, he became a brahmachari. And he wasn't doing anything anymore. I said, what's going on? Well, Prabhu, I'm a brahmachari now. So we had to look for somebody else, and that was wrong. Then I tried to explain to him, you mean you are a brahmachari, this is great. Though that means that you have to become even more humble, and give yourself completely to Krishna, to the devotional service. So this is the point. Don't be attached to position. Position, Prabhupada says, is like religion. It can be swept away, You may be chief now, but tomorrow you're going to be nobody. So don't be attached to that. Just attach to the lotus feet of your Guru Maharaj. And if you are sincere, those lotus feet will give you the understanding, the intelligence, how to become humble. Brahmachari, Grihasta, Sannyasi, or Vanaprastha, doesn't mean, because I'm a sannyasi. You see, you have so many wonderful sannyasi in our movement. They travel all over the world. You see, they're all sick because they're traveling so much. So we have to take care of them. Bhadranarayan Maharaj, I know him so long time ago. He was an amazing personality, such a strong, and you can see how he's still strong, but his body is finished because we don't take care of them. So we have to take care of them. So pure devotees are here, and they're also passing by. Whenever there is a chance, take advantage. Go to their lotus feet and ask them, Maharaj, oh Prabhu, how can I serve you? How can I be useful for, helping you to fulfill Prabhupada's mission? If you do that, this temple, all the temple, they will become like Kunta. And everybody will just fighting to come here. Okay? Everything's okay?
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, my question is that you told you have to make your mind so peaceful if you want to live in devotees' company. So my question is, sometimes we got stuck in such a situation where we have to do many things at the same time. So we were in complete anxiety at that time. So at that time, how can we make our mind peaceful and do the respective job?
I think I already answered to that question. You see, you're brothers. You're all part of Prabhupada army, spiritual army. We don't fight with guns. It has to be clear that. So whenever there is a discussion, I learn from my experience as a human being, as a man, as a devotee, as an artist, that whenever you talk to somebody and he doesn't understand what you're saying, it's not his fault. It's your fault, because you haven't been able to communicate properly what you want to say. So maybe you pretend him to be as intelligent as you are, but it's not possible. One time, there was one devotee who went away. He was a very dear Prabhupada disciple, and he went away. So Prabhupada was very sorry about this. It was sad. Then, after some time, he came back, and he wanted to go and see Prabhupada. So he wanted to go into the room, but the secretary would say, "No, you cannot get in now. Prabhupada is busy." So this devotee says, "Well, I'll come back later on." And then he was coming and coming and coming, and the secretary says, "No, you cannot go. Prabhupada is busy." So finally, somehow or another, he managed, after a few days, he managed to squeeze in, and he went into Prabhupada's room. And Prabhupada, when he saw it, he said, "Oh, you're here." Prabhupada was very happy to see this disciple. He was a wonderful disciple. And the disciple said, "Yes, Prabhupada, I'm happy, but, this servant of yours, this secretary never let me go. Come inside." So Prabhupada changed his mood, and he says, "Well, we cannot pretend that everybody is just like we want it to be, So you cannot pretend that people are like you and they can think like you. So if you don't communicate, if you talk to somebody and you cannot reach the point, try to change the way you explain, because it's not his fault. It's your fault that you haven't been able to understand his level, and you have to try to find a way to go into his consciousness. Then there will be no fight. Then everything will be perfectly balanced. You understand? Anything else? I surrender. Whatever. He's a Brahman.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for your wonderful discourse. What you just explained right now, the last answer to the question that Prabhu raised, and you shared that there is a gap of communication. And this gap is coming, I feel, due to gap of and difference of consciousness. So everybody's consciousness will not be on the same level.
Right.
Some are evolved, some are high, some are struggling. So how this communication with the different level of consciousness can be bridged so that we are perfectly understood? Thank you.
The answer comes from Rupa Goswami. He said, you have to relate with those who are lower to you in consciousness in a very loving way, to teach them, to protect them. So that means that you have to find the words to understand and to make them understand what you want from them and what is the value of becoming Krishna conscious. So you have to become like a father in one sense. Then he said, you have to open your mind to those who are like you. Because if I speak to you and you are a very advanced devotee, then I'm not. So I will learn so much from you. And this exchange of consciousness. And then say you have to go to the higher level of devotee, you have to listen to them. And if you listen submissively with humble mind, then you will learn how to deal with each other. So, of course, you're right. We all come from different background, different, culture. But Krishna conscious can take everything, So it's just a matter to be able to humble, to find the time to see. You cannot say to one devotee, hey, you should do this, because you cannot do anything else. You're just Shudra, so just clean the room or clean the bathroom. No, this is not the way to approach. The approach is, please, we need your service, we need your help to do this service. And then the devotee will greatly, nicely. I remember one time one devotee was saying, if you live in a temple and everybody is very happily situated in the service that they like to do, then if there is an emergency, everybody will be available, Okay, we do our service, but there is, Prabhu, there is an emergency. Okay, we all together, we take care of the emergency. But if the devotee in the temple, they are not happy, there is an emergency, they won't help. They will go. They will turn your back to you. So we have to learn how to deal with each other in a loving way, father way, equal way, and humble way when we deal with the older, advanced devotee. Okay?
Hare Krishna. You given nice lecture. And my question was that regarding devotional service, you told that two things so that we can become peaceful, like doing the devotional service nicely and well as dealing with each other nicely. So in first question is that the devotional service, sometimes we will held up with a lot of services and sometimes we will get. So in that situations, how your experience can be shared?
Well, you see, this is growth. This is wonderful that devotional service sometimes becomes so much, because more you serve, the more you advance. You cannot say, "Oh, Krishna." There is a story which is very nice. There's one lady in a church in Italy. They over there they worship the Madonna. It will be like Mother Mary. There's an old lady who is praying, and he says, "Madonna, Madonna, give me 5,000 lira. 5,000 lira. I need 5,000 lira." And he's preaching loudly, and he's praying this way. Next to the lady, there is one man, and he says, "Madonna, I need 1 million lira. I need 1 million lira." Then suddenly, he towards the old lady, says, "Hey, you lady, forget about preaching, asking for 5,000 lira. Here is the 5,000 lira. Don't distract the Madonna. It has to give me 1 million lira." You see, so service is there for everyone. There's no question. And you have to be happy when the amount of service comes. But the point is, you may be right. It depends on how the service is given to you. Nobody has to pretend. Nobody has to force you. Because devotional service is very natural, It has to be full of joy, Shukka Dukkadam, explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So unless you're happy, and Prabhupada said, if someone is not happy in Krishna conscious, it's not that the process is wrong. It's that person is not following properly the process. So this is applicable to everybody, from the top to the bottom. So your authority has to understand that has to give you service in a nice way. So then you feel, "Oh yes, Prabhu, thank you. I will do that and I will do more, because I really feel that you put me in a position that I can advance in Krishna consciousness." Okay? Is that clear? Okay, Prabhuji, should we go take prasada or we don't take prasada today? So, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad